Hello everyone, it's Dave from DTM. Just thought I'd do a little video on power flushing. Most people that follow my page see I do quite a lot of it. I get a lot of questions about it. Customers ask me about it, obviously whilst I'm doing it. A lot of people just interested on how it works and whether they need it. Not everyone does need it. This is just a brief explanation of what it is and how it works. Got the whiteboard out today with some drawings on there. You can see I'm not the best illustrator in the world, but basically this is your boiler here. We've got a header tank up here, hot water cylinder and some radiators. Now every system's completely different. Some people don't have a hot water cylinder if you've got a combi boiler. Some people don't have this header tank up here if you've got a sealed system where you top the pressure up. But the basis of a power flush is pretty much the same between systems. So on this one here, it's an open vent system, what a lot of you got in your home if you've got a tank up in the loft. So basically your average system over the years, as it gets a little bit older, starts to build up with sludge deposits in the bottom of the radiator, sometimes in pipe work around valves and pumps and places like that, and also quite commonly around the point at which the water fills up the system. So you've got this piece here and it typically builds up with quite a bit of sludge in there, and this starts to choke the system up as well. So the first things we do with a power flush is remove your main heating pump and we'll place our machine up into there. So what you've got is the chemicals from the machine and the circulation from the machine going around the system. So what we'll do is cut this pipe off here, cut this pipe out where this typically blocks, and we'll give that a clean through. We'll adapt it if it's an older style. A lot of systems had old air separators. We get rid of them now and make it into more of a modern configuration. Obviously clean out any debris that's in there. This header tank here, we'll clean this out, get rid of any debris and deposits in the bottom of the tank there, so that when you do fill the system back up, it's filling with nice, clean, fresh, inhibited water rather than taking all the debris back into the system. So how your system normally works is the hot water comes up from the boiler, goes around the system and then comes back cool to get reheated again and circulate again. With the machine, what we'll do at the first stage is we'll work on one radiator at a time. So we'll isolate the others. We'll circulate the hot chemicals around the system, and what this does is it comes up from the machine, circulates around one radiator at a time, passes back down into a magnetic system filter there, which will catch any debris that we clean. So you've probably seen on some of my videos where I take that out and show you what I've caught. Comes back into the machine and the hot water gets circulated. So what will happen, we'll do that for every single radiator on the system. We'll circulate by itself. We'll actually circulate in both directions to remove this debris in the bottom of the radiator here. While we're doing that, we've got an agitator, which is an adapter that goes on the end of our drill, or we'll sometimes even use a rubber mallet just to agitate what's in the bottom of the radiator to get this sludge and deposits to come round and catch into our filter and into the machine. So we'll do that also for the hot water cylinder as well, to clean this circuit out. Once we've done every radiator there, we then need to flush the chemicals that are actually in the system back out again. So what we'll do, we've obviously flushed these in both directions hot. We're now satisfied that we've got a nice hot radiator here, so we need to get the chemicals back out. And that's when what we'll do is put fresh mains water into the machine here, filling up from your outside tap typically into here. The water then, fresh water will come round the system, round that individual radiator. So we've got the fresh cold mains clean water coming round, and then rather than going back into the filter, this time it will come round and go into a foul waste drain. So all these loose deposits and little bits that are still hanging around in there are getting washed out. And then we use a turbidity tube, which is basically we take a sample from this water here as it's running through, and we'll have a look in the bottom there. It's got a little dial, a little indicator, so we can see how clean the system's getting. Once we're happy that that's clean, we'll then isolate that radiator and we'll move on to the next one, and we'll repeat the same process with the clean water going down the drain for the whole system there. Same with the hot water tank as well. Once we're happy that all the levels and everything are all good and the system's nice and clean, we'll put everything back together, remove this cap here, dose your system with inhibitor, let that all run through, and obviously you've got your nice clean tank now filling up with clean water there. We'll then send you out a reminder just to keep on top of your Fernox, keep that topped up every 5 years. And then what we'll do, typically we always advise that the system is fitted with a little system filter down on the return, little magnetic system filter, which is basically a little version of the big chap that we use on the Powerflush machine. And then each year when we do the boiler service, we'll clean this out and it catches any deposits that are left floating around from the flush, which there shouldn't be a great deal, but it's just a preventive measure. That is basically how a Powerflush works. I say not every system needs a Powerflush. A lot of engineers will advise it as a get out to get rid of other faults. We'll always test and let you know if it does need it. Using a thermal imaging camera to show before and afters on the radiator, so you'll actually see results of what we've done. Most of the time, once we've done that, people notice a huge difference. If you speak to anyone that's had one of my flushes, they'll all tell you that the difference after it was amazing. Obviously makes your boiler much more efficient as well, and you're going to get a lot of heat for your money, as opposed to at the moment your boiler will be running away and you're getting a reduced efficiency from the radiators. That's it really. Any questions, drop me a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or on the YouTube video. Yeah, and I'll get back to you. Right, have a good day.